Hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching or listening. Welcome to another episode of the Miles Grant Show, Mind of Mentors edition, inspired by the great book by Tim Ferriss, which I'm sure I'm going to review on this show at some point, called Tribe of Mentors. The purpose of Mind of Mentors is to basically share reviews of books that I have recently read, and today's book is a cracker. If you haven't read it, Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday, author of another great book called The Obstacle is the Way. In today's Mind of Mentors, I'm going to give you really high level summary of the book. So I'd argue that the summary will mean that you don't necessarily need to read the book. I'm going to extract out what I think are the real nuts and bolts, the things that you can easily apply and implement in your life. Highly recommend, not for me, but for you, that you make notes, because I'm a big believer that knowledge is not power. It's the implementation of knowledge that's in fact power. Everybody knows what to do to get in shape, but 99% of the planet, I don't even know if that's a real statistic. I keep saying 99% of the planet. The vast majority of people are not like the body that they would want, right? Maybe I need to actually research that, find out the real answer. It's like 93.7392% of people are actually looking at their bodies in the mirror going, I don't know. Anyway, I'm labouring on this point way too long. You're like, can you just do the review, please, Miles? We didn't come here for you. We came for the review of Ryan Holiday's book. If you haven't already, I see we have in today's episode got a donate link. Medical Relief International are our partners, I guess. Medical Relief International provide medical aid in third world countries such as Jordan. And one of our coaching businesses, we provide a regular donation to Medical Relief International, but they could always do with more. This past month, we have had in the region of 25 children have had new glasses so that they can go to school and see. Because obviously, if you're here watching and you need glasses, or just you're able to appreciate the fact that your eyesight is really important. Imagine being a child that frankly can't see, trying to pay attention and learn as a teacher writes on a board. Can't imagine what that must be like. So please give what you can. The link is at the bottom of the screen. So let's get into today's episode. By the way, if you're here, give me a yo in the chat if you're watching live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Kind of cool bit of kit this, isn't it, StreamYard? It's still think it's pretty cool, but let me know that you're here. Give me a yo in the chat. Let me know that you're here. But let's get into the review. Recommend that you make notes. Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. I think a lot of this book is very, very common sense, but it is not necessarily common practice. So the book, Ryan Holiday says, first thing really is in the title, spend time being still. And he goes on to say you should schedule the time to be still. The philosopher Seneca said, believe that if people could find peace within themselves, then the world around them, then there would be no wars. Because ultimately conflicts on the outside starts from conflict on the inside. He goes on, he tells some great stories in the book. Tells a story about John F. Kennedy during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Was kind of asked, what are we going to do? There's a particular part of the Cuban Missile Crisis which there was serious escalation happening, and it was going to get worse potentially. And JFK got up apparently out of a meeting and just left, and everyone was in the meeting was like, where did he go? To which one of his aides then found him having a swim, and his aide sort of said, what are we going to do? We need to make a decision. And he said, look, there's absolutely no point us collectively trying to make a decision when we're in this angst and this kind of internal negative energy and turmoil that was going on in that room. I needed to get out. I'm going to have a swim. I'll come back after and make a decision. And apparently he came back after. Forgive me for not having the historical facts correct if you're a historian. But apparently he came back shortly after that. A decision was made that was definitely one of the decisions that helped to end that missile crisis. Ryan then goes on to say limit inputs. So I translated that into less time on social media, less time reading the news, less time consuming information. I think it's really important to be really intentional with the information that you consume. Our minds are like a computer. You know, I don't remember the number, but we're downloading millions of bits of data every day, every second, every minute. In this moment right now, I'm downloading just the obvious things such as, you know, how long I've been on, who's watching, is the broadcast working, is the sound working, the next note on my phone, you know, I'm hearing Sage crying as she gets out of the bath, right? The lights are bright on me, right? That's just the obvious thing. That's just 5 or 6 things. We're downloading millions of bits of data every hour. And he says, you know, you need to be really conscious with limiting the data that you're consuming. Hi, Rachel Young. Great to see you. So be really conscious of how much information that you're consuming. He then goes on to say kind of a bit of this. I put a warning signal next to this one. He said the vast majority of people are trying to get out of this moment. So what he means by that, what I interpreted into that was in life, sometimes we are so consumed by a goal, a dream, a target. You know, I'll be happy when is often a phrase that I've said and that other people, if they're honest, you may have said yourself or you may have thought it, you know, I'll be happy when I get more clients. I'll be happy when I'm on that holiday. I'll be happy when COVID's over, right? And he said, you know, most of us are spending so much time just trying to get out of this moment rather than appreciating. Eckhart Tolle wrote a great book, which I'm sure I'll review, called The Power of Now. Phenomenal book. Be really conscious of getting caught in trying to get out of this moment rather than just appreciating. We were on, me and Mrs. Grant had the date this morning. We did loads of stuff. Sage was at nursery. It was great fun. And at one point we were on a jog, beautiful jog. And Satty was like, what do you want to do next? And the old me would be like, really like, okay, what we're going to do next, like plan all this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what, Sat? Right now, all I'm interested in is this run with you. Now, part of it was because there is a pattern still inside of me that's like, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? Even in this broadcast, the fact that I'm talking about it means I'm thinking about what I'm going to do after this broadcast, right? Because I'm now focusing on it. However, awareness is the key, right? So, you know, Ryan Holiday says stillness is the key. I believe awareness is the key, meaning being aware that you're thinking about something outside of this moment is the first step to escaping the trap of getting pulled out of the moment, right? So we can't override thinking. People that think meditation, the point of meditation is to not think. That's not true. The point of meditation is just to have stillness. And, you know, he also goes on to say, you know, meditation is a crucial part of having stillness. He talks about delaying responses and how Napoleon was renowned for delaying responses up to 3 weeks to fully think something through. That's remarkable. I'm imagining Mrs. Grant, what do you want for tea tonight? I'll tell you in 3 weeks. This is hilarious. But I get the point, right? He was delaying. He felt that actually sometimes he could be reactive. We can be reactive. I know I can be reactive to make a decision. Hey, Ed, good to see you, brother. I know sometimes I can be reactive, making a decision quickly. You know, I've been guilty in the past, not so much now. Checking my phone. The phone pings, you check it straight away. Not so much anymore. I'm really good at having notifications off. But Napoleon says, delaying responses 3 weeks to fully think it through. I think the lesson there is, someone asks you to do something, don't give an instant decision unless you have to. It's like, do you want to get on this train that's just pulled up on the station? You kind of have to make a quick decision, right? But there are probably a lot of times in life where you don't have to actually make a quick decision. And that's ultimately what he is trying to stress there. Goes on to talk about Tiger Woods and how in 2008 he won. I think he was winning a lot of tournaments, the golfer Tiger Woods, in 2008, and then didn't win again for 10 years. And Tiger himself, who has been really open and honest in interviews about his challenges and his relationship breakdowns, etc., said, ultimately, if he's honest with himself, that the vast majority of why he wasn't succeeding from 2008 onwards because of a lack of inner peace. So he had no internal stillness. So that lack of internal stillness was causing him to be in inner turmoil. And I don't play golf. I've got some friends on here, Adam Ashburn, Nick James, that avid golfers. I know enough about golf to know that it requires a huge degree of stillness to be able to play golf well. Stillness is the key to why Tiger Woods was successful up until 2008. Something I wrote here: we can only be truly happy if we have peaceful souls as well as peaceful minds. And the way to be truly happy and have peace inside is meditation. Things like meditation, walks in nature, etc. Really, really key. He then goes on to say, another way to create stillness is to do things that are purely to help others enjoy life more. Because if you're focused on helping other people, you will meet one of your primary needs, which is contribution, meaning you'll always feel happy. Goes on to talk about other ways to have stillness. I've already mentioned meditation, forest walks in nature, yoga, swimming, are examples of ways that you can create inner peace. Being by nature, power naps, and then he finishes by talking about minimalism. Getting rid of stuff that you don't need is a really good way to create stillness. So that was my review of Ryan Holiday's book, Stillness is the Key. Great read. Highly recommend you check it out. Hope you enjoyed this book review. Mind of Mentors. See you next time. Peace out.